Hello everybody, my name is Zach Cole. This is my final presentation for CS6460 Educational Technology, in which I will be discussing my development project, TryBash. Early in the semester, when we were narrowing down our research field, I landed on simulation-based learning, which, as it sounds, is the concept of immersing learners in an environment that emulates reality as closely as possible. Since I knew I wanted to contribute to the field by developing an application, determining the challenges of simulation-based learning and how they're currently being addressed was my first order of business. This chart was constructed in a study done by Cornell University. I think it clearly lays out a few of the biggest challenges. For my project, I chose to address the final three, which are leveraging learner control, understanding individual differences, and shaping the social environment. Thus, leading to my actual project proposal. My idea was to develop a simulation-based tool that teaches people how to use the Linux shell Bash, and to do so in such a way that addresses the previously mentioned challenges. The competition in this space are tools like Code Academy and Code School, which are excellent tools, but I wanted to build upon their approach. And to do this, my idea was to provide dynamic visuals to the learner, while still implementing the progress tracking and social sharing that can be seen on these platforms. In order to accomplish this goal, I had to settle on a tech stack in which to architect my implementation. Since the data for the course material is static, the tool could survive as strictly a front-end web project. This means I'm hosting my data models client-side, using the React.js library to handle the view and controller portion of the app. I'm using Bootstrap to aid my front-end styling, Babel and Webpack to control build configurations, and NPM to handle module imports and versioning. I found a really cool module called React Bash developed by Zach Argyle to build my terminal component upon. However, there were some changes I wanted to make to it, so I forked his project and uploaded my revisions to NPM under the name Zach Bash. Finally, I used Sketch to develop my initial design proposals. I designed all the app logos and components from scratch using Sketch. With all of this in mind, let's run through a quick demonstration of the tool. Feel free to follow along or try for yourself by going to trybash.com. Okay, here we are at trybash.com on the home page. We're going to scroll down just a little bit and click on Shell Shock, which is the course we want to see. And you'll notice we're presented with the main workspace of the app. The left-hand side is a navigation bar that we can use to navigate through the entire course. The top cell gives us directions about what to do for each lesson. The right-hand cell is the visualization aspect. And the bottom portion, of course, is our terminal, which is where most of the work will be done. So you'll notice the first lesson asks us to simply press enter to get started, which we'll do, and you'll also be presented with a notification saying that we did in fact pass the lesson. But before we get going, I want to show you guys a little bit on the terminal and the visualization. So you see here, I'm going to use the cat command and take a look at this extended.txt file. You'll see it shows up in the terminal and in the visualization cell, and we handle the overflow so we can handle any large amount of text like this is. Now let's have a look at changing directories. So I'm going to go into the My directory using the cd command. Notice that our current working directory display changed accordingly. Now we're going to make a directory called stuff. We'll see how we also handle the overflow just like we did in the file inspector below. And then I'll navigate into this stuff folder to show you that it is actually a real thing and not just display. Okay, now we're just going to change directories all the way back to the root. And now we're going to go check out 1.2, which is more of a real lesson. You'll see it wants us to type the help command, but let's see what happens if we just press enter. You'll notice we're handed a notification that says we haven't quite completed the requirements for this lesson. So right now I have 3 ways of handling failure, and it all has to do with the terminal structure. It's either the file tree, the current working directory, or the command history. In this particular case, we're checking command history. So let's type help and pass the lesson. Okay, Now we've reached the final lesson of the chapter. So I tried to make it a little bit special. So you notice all we have to do is press enter on this particular lesson. So when we do, we'll be presented with a popover that says, congratulations, you finished the chapter. It gives you a chance to share with your friends over social media. And we'll click on Twitter here and see that you can, it gives you a little message. I completed chapter 1. Check it out on trybash.com. That was my way of incorporating social sharing into the application. Okay, that concludes the demonstration portion of the presentation. Thank you. Okay, so now that we've had a brief look at the tool, let's talk about where it's headed. So as you could tell, the UI and UX are still a little rough around the edges, and hopefully this levels out with that maturity. You also notice that the course is pretty short. The long-term goal of this project was to create a platform that could build more courses upon it. And after the Bash course is stable, my next venture will likely be a course teaching Git on the Bash shell. And finally, improving user feedback to be even more meaningful. As I mentioned in the demo, I have 3 different techniques and error messages to guide users along, but this has huge opportunity for growth. I'm pretty excited about it. And that just about wraps it up for Try Bash. Thank you guys so much for watching.